What is mental serenity and heavenly joy? Swedenborg's Spiritual Diary. When your mind gets caught up in worldly things, your connection with spiritual beings is cut off. For almost 3 years, 33 months to be exact, I was in a unique state. My mind was completely detached from physical concerns, allowing me to be present among spiritual and heavenly beings. Still, I continued to live among people on earth and interacted with them just like anyone else. Even the spirits were surprised by this fact. Still, whenever my mind became preoccupied with worldly matters, like worrying about necessary expenses or writing a letter, my outward mind would become focused on those things. As a result, I would fall back into a bodily state, and the spirits could no longer communicate with me. They said, "This has happened before. We felt like we weren't even near you." From this, I realized that spirits cannot communicate with someone whose mind is too absorbed in worldly and physical concerns. Such concerns pull down inner thoughts and immerse them in purely physical matters. Experiencing mental serenity and heavenly joy. The state of mental serenities and the state of peace. While the state of peace is described as a higher dimension, the state of mental serenity is presented as a lower stage. One early morning, I began to experience the state of mental serenity. It felt as if their inner self was being drawn in, and spirits were being absorbed. This sensation continued throughout the night and into the morning. Through this experience, I realized how sweet this serenity was and how boundless the joy of heaven truly is. And in that state, I was also permitted to reflect upon those who strive to live in the world, entangled in physical and worldly things, filled with anxieties and worries, and to know how truly pitiable they are, even if they imagine themselves to be experiencing the greatest joy. Furthermore, I came to know that this state of serenity could suddenly turn into a state of distress, as if dark clouds covered a clear sky. However, this kind of state, like many other states peculiar to celestial beings, cannot be perceived by all. That is because this state cannot be known to one who has not tasted it, and also, it cannot be expressed in words that can make one believe. If one knows this to some extent, one will believe it to some extent, but I can assert this. That is, the states of joy for all pleasant and delightful things of the heavens are infinite, but no simple earthly person can grasp them. However, if one feels even a small fragment of that state, one would not wish to be in the body again, nor would one wish to be in physical and worldly worries. On the origin of magic. There were spirits who believed in their own powers, but they were actually thuggish spirits who had been permitted to instill terrifying fear, far beyond what anyone would think possible. They were even allowed to swing their terrifying arms freely. Even spirits who had never felt fear while alive said they were overwhelmed by a kind of fear they couldn't even describe, caused by that terrifying arm. That arm once appeared before me, and I was seized with terror, and the fear clung to me long after. It felt as if it could pulverize every bone in my body, and if it had been given permission, unthinkable as it sounds, I believe it truly would have. For spirits hold the mysterious power to shape illusions, and through them, such things become possible. This is no mere dream, but a hidden reality. What they envision in the depths of their mind manifests with eerie potency. Such fear arises from their unwavering belief that nothing lies beyond their will. Yet such things are not easily believed. That is why they must be explained with care, so that people do not dismiss them as mere old tales or idle fantasy. These truths, though hidden, speak of deeper realities that lie just beyond ordinary sight. In the realm of spirits, there are those who possess a peculiar art and ability to perform such feats with a kind of spiritual technique. If they are permitted to use this power, they could easily lead human minds to believe what they see is miraculous. For these workings have tangible effects upon the material and physical world. This is where the magic of the ancient Egyptians was practiced. For the same reason, it speaks in many places of the word about evil magic. What the Egyptian magicians performed were false miracles, and they were the work of the devil. When one is not grounded in the Lord's divine faith, visions and phenomena of that nature, even if of diabolical origin, can effortlessly mislead them into believing they are of heavenly provenance. This is because, apart from those under the Lord's direct tutelage, the capacity to discern true visions and authentic miracles remains elusive. Nevertheless, these practices are presently prohibited. This is due to the confinement of these entities and their restriction from roaming beyond the clearly defined circumstances delegated to them. Swedenborg, possessed by evil spirits. This happened on a certain night this month when evil spirits, with malice, tried to threaten me as I was resting in bed. They violently shook all the joints of my body, so my entire body trembled. It was something I had sometimes experienced at other times as well. That is, they invaded all my joints and tissues, striking me with a shudder as if the souls of the dead had completely seized me. And what truly frightened me was their suggestion that I withdraw and go elsewhere, claiming that they had died or been killed in that very place. I saw terrifying apparitions. Those apparitions spoke about these spirits. Nevertheless, even in that terrifying state, I was safe and I feared nothing. I cannot truly describe this shudder that actually shook my entire body. It is because it comes from an evil spirit. Sometimes I experience this so strongly that if someone else had the same experience, they would think they were possessed by a demon. No spirit or angel needs to be worshipped. I perceived by a spiritual idea that spirits had heard that they should never be honored. This is because they insist and desire that people or other spirits should fear and honor them. This is what they pursue above all else. However, because their states of mind are in constant flux, and because they can neither think nor speak by their own power, nor recall anything about themselves, nor punish nor reward, they ought not to be reverenced. Only the Lord should receive worship. This is because only the Lord knows all things, even the smallest, and governs the heaven and earth of the entire universe. He rewards and does good. Likewise, angels should not be worshipped. As all angels confess, the good they do is not theirs but the Lord's. If it were not so, they would not be angels. Nevertheless, they receive respect according to the degree to which they are the Lord's. The Lord preserves man from all evil. From these various experiences, it is clear to me that even if I were to relate only common experiences, a whole book would be sufficient. For several years now, almost daily, I have been surrounded by evil spirits around my head and behind my back, and they have not only troubled me with all sorts of efforts, but have also tried to torment me with open insults, magic, deceit, secret tricks, and extremely terrifying curses. As I mentioned before, these attempts bore no fruit. I was finally able to completely dismiss their efforts and open insults. In this way, the Lord protects humanity, and every single human being is surrounded by evil spirits. Especially these days, that degree has become even more severe. This is because not only have evil spirits increased due to the increase of evil, but indeed, the worst kind of evil spirits now exist. People do not wish to know this fact and think that they protect themselves, but nothing is further from the truth than this thought. This is because if the Lord were to withdraw his hand for even a moment, man would perish. If you enjoy this video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel, like and share. Thank you.